Hello and welcome everyone to Cybercast episode 292, the Transformer and Action Figure podcast show. Today we've got a special show for you. We're going to be doing our top 10 figures or figure purchases of 2021 so far. Then at the end of the year we'll be doing our top 20. So probably have a lot more stuff coming from the second part of the year, because I know a lot of stuff that usually comes around the holidays. But as of right now, this is what kind of each one of us got. I think Sport's going to be joining us pretty soon, and I believe that Dalton said he's going to be in the chat as well. So also a reminder, if you guys are interested in having your collection spotlighted on the show, we don't have one for this episode, but we're also doing this top 10 list. But if you ever want that to happen, just take as many pictures that your collection demands. So if you got a smaller collection just starting out, just take a few pictors. If you got a giant collection room, you can take multiple pictures so we can kind of see everything there. You can send those in an email to me at g1hexatron@gmail.com. If it takes multiple emails, just make sure you label them that they're 1 of 6 and 2 of 6. That way I've got an idea. That way I know that I get every single one of your emails. Also, if you have something that you want to be called, like a YouTube name or Instagram, Twitter name, or anything like that, go ahead and include that info as well, and we'll shout you out. Another thing that we're going to start doing, starting with next episode, is we're going to be spotlighting an Instagram page. So we're going to kind of be going through Instagram, and if there's a toy photographer that we really like, we're going to bring up their page and just kind of look at some of their recent photos. Maybe your stuff's in there. If you want to even submit it, probably let Rick handle that, since you're big on Instagram. So if you want to get in contact with Rick, just message him. He'll tell you where you can find him on Instagram, and he'll check out your stuff, and if it's top notch, we'll share it on the show. So does that about sum it up? Oh yeah, and we changed up the show a little bit. The way that we're going to do it, instead of covering news, every single figure that's coming out, all this stuff, even stuff that we don't even collect, but we're like, hey, maybe one of you guys collects, we're not going to cover that anymore. We're going to basically pick out highlights and things that we really like, and things that maybe can start a conversation. And, we'll have some topics in there as well. Some things that we wanted to kind of discuss, things we think that would interest the toy collecting community. And just kind of like picking out highlighted stuff that we got really excited about since the last show. So let's go ahead and do introductions. Rick, where can people find you? And if they want to be involved with the showing off their Instagram page, where can they contact you at?
You can find me on Instagram as Shatrdglassjazz. Looks just like that on screen. Should be easy to find. You can also find me on Twitter. But yeah, we're going to be looking at a lot of the hot toy photography that's out there. There's a lot of it. If you follow me, I do a little bit of photography, but there's a lot more out there. And we want to start highlighting a lot of that, because we get excited about action figures. And it seems like a cool way to introduce everybody to stuff that we're seeing out there that looks cool.
All right, Sport, where can people find you, man?
You can find me here on YouTube as Sportimus, and on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter as Sportimus Prime.
All right, and you can find me Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and at G1Hexatron, and Facebook page is the G1Hexatron. So we're going to do our top 10 list. So not doing the Mount Rushmore today, not doing our figure of the week. We're just getting straight into your top 10. So we're not doing runners up or anything like that. So I know Dalton, he's going to be in the chat. He's going to be listening to his. If you have something as well that is in your top 10, you can go ahead and put it. We're going to start with 10, go all the way around, and then do 9, go all the way around. So Rick, you'll start us off for number 10.
Sure.
What you got?
I wanted to mention also, I know a lot of folks, especially if you're watching Cybercast, you're probably into Transformers. I left Unicron off. In fact, every year we've done this, I usually leave off the HasLab item, because I've always felt it's not fair to compare like a $500, $600 item to a $20 item. So I just left him off. All right, coming in at number 10, Studio Series Grimlock. I think he's well done. Probably my favorite main line. I think I like it more than the G1. Don't shoot me. But I think they did a really good job with it. I've got the non-F kit. I wish he came with a sword, but now I have that sword. And like I said, I just bought that kit. I'm going to be adding that on to him. But I think he's a really good figure. I like both modes. I think his robot mode just is towering and bulky, and I really like that when you see him next to Earthrise Prime and when you see him next to Hot Rod. It just, something about it feels awesome. But mostly, the Dino mode is what gets you, because that's what he was in the movie. The animated movie kind of is where I dwell. So,
All right, Sport, what you got for 10, man?
I bet that wheelie he came with is your number one, huh, Rick?
Yeah, he's totally number one.
Well, runner up, but that just put him over the edge right there.
There we go. Yeah. This was a tough list because it was hard to number them. They're all great to me, so don't take this too, upsettingly. But anyway, for me, it's going to be the Masters of the Universe Origins, and I picked Trapjaw, even though he supposedly came out in 2020. I got him in 2021. That's when I first saw him in stores. This hits all the buttons for me in terms of nostalgia, because my first Masters of the Universe figure back in 1983 was Trapjaw. He was my favorite toy for a long time. And this, like I said, pushes all the buttons, and they made all the improvements I wish they, as a kid, that he had, like his weapon arm is articulated now, and he can bend his knees and elbows, and this is just like the original toy I always wanted, basically. So this whole line you can almost substitute any figure with as being my number 10, but I chose this one specifically. Great line, just a fantastic line.
Real quick, Dalton says number 10 is Studio Series 86 Hot Rod for him. So it's a good one. That's on my list somewhere. It's a little bit higher up. So
I think I had him on last year's, but I think I got him in December, like right before. So
yeah,
he's such a great figure.
Number 10, I'm gonna bring it up with the Target exclusive, the Clone Wars Anakin Skywalker. Again, really nice mixture of using plastic goods and also soft goods. So anytime they do that and they can pull it off well, I really like that. And just I've always liked this look for Anakin. If there's, other than Darth Vader, if there's a look I really like for Anakin, it's this one and this particular outfit as well. So whenever I saw it, I was like, man, yeah, that's a definite, I definitely want that one. Still haven't seen an Obi-Wan.
Me neither.
My Target, they're like, yeah, we're not getting any more in. And I'm like, you never got them in to begin with. But yeah, Dalton says he still needs an Anakin and an Obi-Wan as well. So yeah, if you find the Obi-Wans, you need them. So all right,
good choice.
Number 9, what you got?
Number 9. This one is, I'm not the biggest Turtles fan. In fact, like on this show, I'm probably the guy who likes Turtles the least. But I know you guys really like Turtles. But I am buying Super 7 stuff. And this Bebop is the best figure, in my opinion, that they've done so far. And really what sends it over the top, he comes with 2 heads. I have actually the alternate head on. But what sends it over the top for me is the paint and the sculpt. I don't know if you can really see the back of his jacket.
Yeah.
But the fact that it looks like embroidered stitching on the back, and the texture on the shell, the details on the skulls, all the paint hits from head to toe, and then he's got the Stone Cold Steve Austin like knee brace going on over there, and it's all painted. It's bulky. It's a huge figure. It's articulate enough to get most of the stuff that you want to do with it, and put it on your display. And I just think this is a good example. Super 7 catches a lot of grief sometimes but I think that this figure can't be overlooked. Also, I love that mohawk in the hair. It's so 90s and late 80s. It just feels so good to me. So that's my number 9.
I'll also have a turtle figure at 9, but it's a little different. All right, Sport, what you got?
Okay, let me reach way over here. Oh, God. My number 9 is going to be Big Grimlock. And basically everything what Rick said. The only thing I wish he had was the clear neck piece. I know that they're going for the movie 86 look, but man, if they had that clear neck piece on here, it would have been much higher on my list. And if they given him a sword rather than the stupid wheelie, I mean, that would have put him higher on my list. But otherwise, really solid figure. And finally, the proper size, leader size. These guys were meant to be big, and Hasbro finally pulled it off. So that's my number 9. Love him.
That's also on my list a little bit further down, so I'll bring up a little extra whenever I get to them there. Dalton says the Studio Series 86 Scourge. It's a good one as well. Let's see. My number 9, that's the only figure I didn't get out of the case because it's a NECA figure. And it's the second one that I've owned. It's the Krang body, which I won't even try because when I first bought it, as soon as I opened up the package, his arm was already broken off. His hand was broken off at the socket inside to where I couldn't even pull it out to replace his hand. So his hand just rolled out across the room. Oh. And so when I went back and Target finally got another one in, I was able to exchange it. And luckily he wasn't broken. And I know that you have to do these tabs or something to pop them open, which sounds just completely dangerous to put the Krang in there. So mine doesn't even have the Krang in it. I don't want to touch it. But to finally have that android body, because that was one of the vintage turtles that I didn't have, was the Krang android body. So to kind of have it now and just be like, you're just going to sit over there and we're not going to mess with you. I know you got all these different hands and we could put Krang in you and he'd be, it'd look cooler and stuff. I'm just like, but you're unbroken right now. And I don't want to get you. So it's the only NECA that made it on my list. But again, one out of one NECA figure that's on my list, it had been broken prior. So yeah. It's 1 for 1, so people think I'm joking about he says his NECA stuff breaks all the time, and all these, but I bet it's not as high as
non-durable goods. Yeah.
Meanwhile, NECA saying, yeah, but it's number 9, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. He should probably be actually 10, but
number 8. The first of a few that are going to be on my list is going to be Lady J. Mm-hmm. This last year, my hottest line is G.I. Joe Classified, and they did a great job with her. She's got the double elbows. She's got multiple javelin tips. She's got a knife. She's got a gun that would shoot them like the toy. She's got a backpack. She can film herself. She's got a little GoPro on the back. She's got a interchangeable hair hat, so you can get that look too. This was a total home run.
Yeah.
Just leave the hair off.
Bald. Yeah. All right, what you guys for?
Okay, number 8 will be for Optimus Primal. I love the original Optimus Primal. He's one of my favorite Transformers, period. Just so much fun to play with, and this thing is near perfect, in my opinion. I know that's saying a lot, but this is everything I wanted out of that Optimus Primal as a modern interpretation. So the only reason why he's not higher up on the list is because I don't like his hairy skirt in gorilla mode. I don't know what else to call it. But otherwise, he's really well done. I have nothing much to say about him. Otherwise, other than the hairy loincloth that he's sporting as a gorilla, he's pretty much almost perfect.
All right, so for my number 8, and it's the first of quite a few of these. Another one almost made it in here, but I wanted to get, at least one turtle in there. But I'm going to go with the G.I. Joe Classifieds Zartan as my number 8. Does it have everything that we'd want in a Zartan? Like, would have been cool to have some kind of color changing, something in it, definitely, but with the extra face and just the design of it. When you see it on the shelf, it's Zartan. There's no denying it. So just really cool figure.
I'll probably talk about that one later.
Oh, and Dalton said number 8 is going to be Kingdom Dinobot.
I wish I could find him. Yeah,
he's a good one. He's a good one.
Good.
He made it. He might have been on my. I think this is my 4th draft. I think it's my 4th, but I think he was on my 1st draft. Didn't make the cut though. All right, what are we on now? This is number 7.
7.
All right, so 7. This is a recent figure, and the only Marvel legend to make my list. And I'm going to cheat a little bit because he is a Build-A-Figure. But I think they did an amazing job with that new Captain America, Sam Wilson.
Some big wings.
Came with a flight stand that I don't like, so I have my own little flight stand there. But they really did a good job with him. He looks good on the flight stand. His costume looks good. The goggles are transparent on a Marvel.
That's nice. Yeah.
So you can see his eyes. There's nothing bad I can say about him. I can strike almost every pose I want to. You can bend the wings in to kind of cover him up when he does that defensive maneuver stuff that he'll do. Yeah. But I'm real happy with him. I collect Marvel Legends. I kind of cherry pick, but there's not many that make my list. You really have to stand out, because I think this year was, and I think the end of this year is going to be even worse. I think it's very competitive right now. There's a lot of good action figures. We've been saying recently in the last few years, I feel like the competition is fierce out there for your money right now.
Now, the wings, are they similar to the Vulture's wings from that Spider-Man movie?
So the Build-A-Figure part is the wings, and there's, it's similar. It's similar. I think I like it a little bit better than the Vulture.
Oh, cool.
It works really well. They did a good job with it.
Nice. Well, my number 7 is going to go for We Belong to Him Now. Scourge, Studio Series.
Okay.
Again, finally, Hasbro did Scourge justice. I mean, he actually looks like a bar of soap in his alt mode, and he even can pop out his head while he is in bar of soap mode. And the proportions are right. He's finally a Voyager size, which I always wished he would be. They kept making him deluxe all the time, so he's a big boy, so he deserves to be Voyager class, and I think they did an outstanding job on him. Someday I'll open him.
All right. For number 7, it's going to be another Joe. I went with Firefly.
Oh, yeah.
I've said this many times, and we've said it many times on the show. I like them to come with a bunch of accessories, and then anytime that you can fit all those accessories on the figure, that's just even cooler to me.
Yeah.
And it seems that G.I. Joe, like with their classified series, they're really nailing it there. Because like I just opened like a Star Wars, the Boba Fett, that has the flame and all that stuff and has the hook. Well, he's got a couple of extra things, like just a couple things left over, even if you like accessorize them up and not everything's gonna fit. So some stuff has to stay in the package, and you have to put it away or whatever you do with the extra accessories. Like I'm sitting here at my desk and like Marvel Legends, I've got extra accessories, and here's my Star Wars pile, and here's my Transformer pile, and my Ninja Turtle pile, just like extra accessories and hands and all this other stuff. Where it's with the Joe figures, I can put every single thing on them, and then put the empty box with the boxes, tape it up, and don't have to worry about, let me find that the box that has the G.I. Joe stuff so I can swap some stuff up in case I want to change it out. Right. I can just sit there and do it right there on the fly on the shelf. So,
yeah,
nice.
I do like that too.
Oh, and Dalton said number 7. He said Kingdom Black Arachnia. She's far better than the other deluxe fembots that we've gotten in the past few years, and she's so accurate to the original show in bot mode.
We need to lead Dalton down either the G.I. Joe path, or we need to get him on another path so he's collecting as much as we are. Turn him to the dark side.
Yeah.
Dread Stink says you wouldn't want to drop the Scourge in the prison showers. No, they probably wouldn't let you have that there either, though. But
no, but Scourge might enjoy that. So.
All right, number 6.
Number 6. Josh is gonna say something about this one. Kickstarter Spawn.
Oh man,
I think this was also a home run. I remember the day I bought the original Spawn figure when Todd McFarlane went from just being an illustrator, an inker, and a fantastic artist to toy company guy. So this was a really good job at like updating this, homaging it. There's other heads. There's another version that it's almost like this with the addition of a few new mold pieces, and the head with the the hamburger head that people call it. But I think this is that classic, the classic Spawn that you think of when you say Spawn. So I'd say this one is the better of the two. But he did a good job. I think the packaging for it was outstanding as well. Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about what McFarlane's been up to lately. So,
what you got, Sport?
Okay, this is a tough one, but I'm going to go with number 6 with the Kingdom Leader Class Megatron. Yes. Just really solid toy. I mean, it's just the paint apps on this guy, I think Hasbro went all out on. I really give them credit on that because usually, as you know, they kind of skimp on that. But they did decorate his chest, his legs, his body. I mean, everywhere is paint apps. Lots of nice details. He would have been higher on my list had they made the tail detachable because he does have a hand fist, but you can't use it because that tail is permanently affixed to that arm. And if they did not use that rubbery plastic for his T-Rex body, but otherwise, I really like this figure, and I'm really glad to own him.
Yeah, he's a fun transformation.
He is fun.
It's an interesting. I know you don't like you. There's a few people I've seen that didn't like the rubbery.
You haven't even opened them yet.
I haven't opened them yet, but I've seen all sorts of videos on them.
Yeah, he's very interesting because of the rubbery, just the skin and whatnot, and how you plug it in. But it's a challenge. I thought it was a challenging mainline transformation. Yeah. A lot of times our mainline stuff's been getting simpler. This one wasn't hard. It was just more complex than a regular mainline transformation. But I thought they did a good job. I knew when I picked it up that there was going to be a Jurassic Park partnership at some point. I knew that was once we started talking about it in our chat. And I think Dalton was talking about it. I was talking about it. We were talking about it. You could kind of tell they were going to do something with Jurassic Park with the choices they made. That's interesting.
My only concern is the rubbery skin. How long is that going to last?
You just never know. Hopefully they've learned some lessons from the old pretenders like Dino King. My Dino King, I cross my fingers every day that I'm not going to go up there and it's going to be a puddle. It's kind of it can kind of get sticky. The pretender shells.
Right.
Dreadsnick says, I've yet to see any show, film, etc. of Spawn. Is it worth the watch? I mean, there's 2 seasons that are on HBO.
The animated series was pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like,
you can always read the comic. I always tell people read comics, and start with number 1 with Spawn. I mean, there's probably a bunch of ways to get that. Trades, Comixology. But I do recommend the book first before watching a video or a movie or whatever. I always recommend reading it first.
And there's
take
going to
you
be
a little bit more time.
Movie. There's going to be a new movie. There was one in the 90s as well. I mean, I've even watched that recently, and I mean, it's not that great, but
yeah, animated series was better, and then the comic was the best choice if you're going to get into Spawn.
Dalton says Kingdom Galvatron is far superior to the Titans Return one, though it didn't take much to do that. So yeah. He also says, "Sport, open your toys, then form your opinions." But we all know that Sport he does reviews of stuff before, it's a real fun transformation, and he's sitting there holding it like sealed in box. He's giving us movie reviews for movies that don't even come out in like 2 months and stuff like that.
The King of the Hill movie is going to be a big box office hit. You watch.
No, man, I'll pass on that. Let's see, number 6, because I'm just now starting to get them. I went with the Cobra Trooper. I know this was pretty high on your list last year, but I didn't get them until here recently. Man. But got the 3 of them, and it's real nice. Like the way
that's a good action figure, man. It was my number 1 last year.
Oh, was it 1? Okay.
Yeah, my top figure.
I left him off because he was last year's release.
Well, I did stuff, like we always do, like stuff that you got this year. So
yeah, it was tough.
All right, we are on what, number 5? We're halfway there.
Yeah.
All right. So Josh already mentioned this guy. I'll mention him again. Firefly. This guy, he's one of my 2. Firefly and Zartan are my top 2 Cobra guys. And just overall in G.I. Joe, they're my favorite 2 characters. So I think they did a good job. I love, like Josh said, everything has its place. I love the idea of the drone. I did get the little Mark II design gun off of Etsy because I think he needs like his gun, like his old school gun. But I have no problems with the other one either. I think they actually look pretty good with the Joes. I like having choices, so I do have some of the real guns, but all in all, I love this guy, and he gave me all the feels. I don't mind that he's got kind of like that big, bomb disposal vest, demolitions type, that vest on. I like the asymmetry of the shoulder pads and some of those things that they do like that as well. So I still think he's a home run. I got him on the first day of January. So I was really, when we did our top 20 from last year, I wanted to include him, but he finally made it into the list at 5.
Very cool. Number 5 is going to be the Studio Series Hot Rod. This figure is probably everyone's favorite, and rightfully so. The transformation's cool from what I've seen, but I basically love the look of him. Both car mode and robot mode. Proportions are nice. I mean, he's fantastic. So that's my number 5. One of my favorite Transformers characters too.
Yeah, and if you haven't gotten into Transformers, but you've watched the movie, and if you were only going to pick up one, I think I'd pick him up.
Yeah,
if you like the animated movie, and you want to try a Transformer, I think he's the one that you want to start with. Start high, and then you come back down just a little bit after that. Start high.
Yeah, one of the two. I mean, he's Voyager price, but he's more of a deluxe, but he's got a lot of stuff with him. But for what you get, and the figure itself is fantastic. I think it's worth the money.
Yeah.
Dalton says Primal or Kingdom Primal is great, and I'm glad that he's got all of his weapons. Though I do agree with Sport about the weird loincloth in Beast mode.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing with that. Oh well.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna cover my 5. I've got 3 Transformers, so I guess kind of a little early spoiler there on the list, but I'll kind of say the same thing because I'm gonna say it about him, and I just don't want to have to keep on saying it for the next 2. But number 5 is gonna be this Grimlock for me, and like a lot of what Rick said, but the main thing that when I saw this Grimlock, I'm like, I don't ever have to buy another Grimlock again. That's great, and I can say that about the next 2 Transformers that I have on my list as well, because he's the size that you want, for Grimlock. So I don't have to worry about, hey, they came out with a Grimlock, but he's the wrong size. So like, even if this one is cool, then eventually they're going to get a better one, and that seems to be kind of the case that we've seen with these generation lines, whether you call it Universe, Classics, Generations, Titan Returns, whatever it's called this year, Kingdom. So, and whatever it'll be next year, it just seems that now you're getting to where, hey, this is the version. He's the right size, and in both modes, he looks accurate to what he's supposed to look like. And I really like that about him, because now you can start buying your Transformers to where, you don't have to worry about, if there's a new, better one that comes out. I see third-party collectors do this a lot, where they'll buy one and then a better one comes out, and then they they just spent like $200 something on that third party one. Now they're trying to sell it and everyone else is too, because nobody wants it. So they're trying to get like $50-$60 for it. So they're losing money hand over fist there, so that they can spend a couple $100 on their new version. And then 6 months later, another better version comes out. And so they're just keep on dumping to where they spent hundreds of dollars in just one character, to where these, cheaper than Masterpiece. So not trying to say that they're Masterpiece, but they're just like a tier below. Nice. And for the amount of money gap is so huge that these are worth picking up, because I know I don't have to buy another Grimlock again. I'll just say that Scourge and Hot Rod, they're on my list somewhere as well. It's the same thing with them. I know that whenever I saw that Scourge, I'm like,
that's the one.
There weren't any corners cut.
True.
To where you look at the previous ones, and either he's a bomber, Scourge is a bomber, or I forget what the other one was.
It's like a headmaster thing,
to where you're like, it's not quite there, and the size and everything. So that's kind of like my Transformer, I guess, rant for all of them is you can start buying these things, and you have been for the past, few years, or a couple of years, I would even say, like with the Headmasters and stuff like that, Target Masters, those are all great. But now we don't have to do this game where, and when they release something like the Mirage, before this new one that's coming in a 2-pack, when I looked at it, I was like, that's not the best Mirage that they're going to make. And so I didn't even purchase it, because I knew that a better one's going to come out. So
same here.
One of the things I find to be the most ironic, and I'd like to know, so Studio Series created a place, and they created all these rules back when they started doing the first few figures. When you talk about the accuracy to the movie, when you talk about the size and the scales and some of those things, they created all these rules, and some genius, because I don't believe that they thought about it when they were first coming out with Studio Series. Some genius was like, what if we do the animated movie the same way and make them completely slavish to the movie, exactly what people been wanting? And I don't know who that was. I'd love to know exactly who that was. Maybe if we ever get like Warden on the show, we can ask him if it was him. But
I mean, that's the type of person we find out.
you could just text him and ask him. But
and we take him out to dinner. So
Yeah, we need to find out, because I think that's a really interesting thing, because Josh is someone who he wasn't picking up Studio Series and wasn't into that base stuff. And then Studio Series comes along and gives him the perfect stuff that he wants, stuff that you can't replace, the stuff that answer all his collecting questions for Transformers. So how ironic is that we didn't know that starting out, but now we got like the best lines right out of Studio Series. So whoever that genius was, we need to we do need to take him out to dinner.
Even Dakota is fairly impressed with it. So.
Yeah, I mean that's true. So
we got Dakota.
Anyway. All right, so we are on number 4, right? All right.
2, 3, 4. Yep.
Number 4 is going to be one of the best troop builders out there.
Really?
The Viper.
Why did you have to show that to me?
I know that hurts.
They did such a good job with this guy.
That's my favorite.
He's got his
trooper.
Got his pistol right there. He's got his backpack. Got some nice paint hits back there on that backpack.
Making me cry.
You know, he can hold his gun pretty well. He's got his little handkerchief or bandana, whatever you want, ascot, whatever you want to call it. I take them off. I actually leave it on for the leader. I like that they come with stuff like that you can take off. I keep it on the leader, and then the other guys, I take it off. The same way with some of the Cobra troopers, you know.
He's
so
the ultimate sea bro for wearing a helmet, but also like I need my mask too.
Right, yeah.
And goggles, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't need the goggles, but he's like, yeah, I look cooler when I got my goggles on. So
he's all set, yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy. I love that trooper.
I love him too.
I need Hasbro to be like, just like with the other trooper, just be like, all right, we're taking.
Yeah, if anybody's got an extra one, Josh is looking for. You still looking for 3 of them?
I need 3 of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So contact us if you have an extra. You know.
I've got an extra Major Blood still for anyone that needs it. So.
Nice. Well, my number 3 or 4, right? Yeah, 4 is going to be the Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Bebop. I love this guy for everything that Rick said. His size, the details. I mean, if you look at the original toy and this thing, they picked out all of the details, including that leg brace, which I never really noticed, to be honest with you, until I got this figure. The paint applications is spot on. I mean, Super 7 did have some issues with sloppy paint apps, but they did a good job with this line cleaning that up. Again, the size. I mean, these are 7-inch scale, which makes Bebop even bigger. He's about 8 inches, I think. The articulation is excellent. He'd be higher up if they gave him an ab crunch, but otherwise, he's a very, very nice, very nicely posable figure overall, from what I've seen. But it's the presence that really gets me on him. I mean, the size, the sheer presence on the shelf, even in the box, is just. I just love every bit of him. And he's one of my favorite henchmen.
One of the things that I haven't heard anybody say on any other videos and stuff about the line is, I remember when I was I really liked the Nick Turtles cartoon. I thought that was a really well done animated series. Voice acting, music, everything about it was really well done.
Yep. What
we hated was the toys would give you, the toy line from Playmates gave you a lot of the villains, but they were tiny.
Yeah.
And with Super 7 and the way that they're doing it, and you're paying some prices for it, but you're getting the villains at a scale that feels real, like they would dominate the Turtles, you know? And the Turtles really have to bring their A game, their ninja, everything to conquer these great big menacing villains. And when you're looking at a display or you're playing with it, they just feel right. So everything that Playmates got wrong, Super 7 is getting right with the scale between the Turtles and the villains.
Yeah, and these guys were the brutes. I mean, Bebop and Rocksteady were big dudes in the original cartoon.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dalton says number 4 is going to be Kingdom Cyclonus. He says he loves the transformation and the paint job, though he'd prefer it to be a little bit darker shade of purple. I I gotta agree with that too.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, slightly darker. Yep.
Which we know that they'll probably do.
I hope so. G1 color, toy colors, yeah.
I mean, they've come out with 100 different repaints of Megatron and Optimus Prime for every version they release. So, I mean, do you think it's that far off that Hasbro says, we could get one more repaint of this Cyclonus? So.
Yeah, probably.
Call him Armada.
Yeah. Just think if I was ever to get into TMNT stuff, would have to be Hot Toys. If I could part with Cheesecake money. Well, Hot Toys, I don't believe. I think you're thinking of Mondo. Mondo makes 1/6 scale turtle figures, but Hot Toys doesn't. So that would kind of be the equivalent there. What was it? Number 4?
Yeah.
It's my last, Joe, but it's one of my favorites. I just kind of did these in the order that I really like the characters. I loved Lady J, man. She was my, other than Baroness, and my favorite Joe, I guess, female. Because I like Baroness and, God, what's her name?
Scarlet?
Pink hair,
Zorana.
Yeah, dude, I like her a lot too.
Yeah, I can't wait till they do her.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that one. But yeah, man, the Lady J, kind of everything that you said, just again, all the little stuff, and you look at her backpack, you even put the little knives in there, and I started to put them in there until I realized that I was like, man, I could just equip all this stuff already. So
yeah,
and she
I like that they're using
good.
that space.
She stands good, unlike the Baroness that I've given up. Every time I look in that case, the Baroness has fallen over. I don't know why Hasbro. It's with your Marvel Legends, it's with your Star Wars, it's with your G.I. Joes, any of them that have heels or like wedges or anything like that. Like, for some reason, why is it always the ankle can't just be flush? It's always like, and then you try to move it down a little bit and it goes, you're like, no, just a little bit, like it just can't be smooth, It's just like there's something caught in there to where it's like just going back and forth, and they have trouble standing anyway, on those heels. So,
and stands are useful, but it's funny how few people, I mean, other than McFarlane, and we don't get a lot of stands.
Yeah, so. I just had to put her in a flight stand, like she's like jumping with her guns out, which looks pretty cool. But I was just like, it takes up space. But I'm like, dude, I make your figures be able to stand. Like I can't have the only figure that because it's multiple. Like I said, it's multiple lines from Hasbro. Like you'd think someone would be like, you know what, we kind of got an issue with our female characters that have like wedges or heels or anything like that. It's hard for them to stand.
Some of the guys, not just Hasbro, but some of the other companies, a lot of times the trick is to make the feet a little bit big so you have more space to stand on. A lot of people have done that for a lot of figures we have. But with the girls, I think they try to keep them petite. But all you need is a little disc with just one little notch that you can put that heel on, just one of the heels. You don't need both of them. That's all it takes. It would be a penny, it's pennies on the dollar for sure to do that.
Yeah, I mean, some of our Star Wars figures came with stuff like that, and I was
there are a few that came with that. Try to do some stand stuff.
I was like, maybe they're gonna start doing that, then
they didn't
do it,
right?
Yeah. I was like, this seems like a good idea,
I like the idea.
And again, definitely. Like you could just do those little clear circles. With a peg like this big, like they're the size of a quarter. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yep. That's all you need. Just make sure it fits. Yeah. Make sure it fits. With the vintage collection, Hasbro was doing the vintage collection, and for years there were stands that they would fit. When they changed they were printing one, they were making the figures one place, and then they changed to another place. They may have changed to Vietnam at some point and doing some of those things. When they did, the deepness of the hole changed, and now they wouldn't fit on those stands. So I had to go out and buy, I think I had like 1,000 of them. Now I've had to go buy I bought 100 of the some new ones. Anyway, that's a pain, but you need to test that stuff because
I tried to put her on one
they all
of these
need
mecha
stands.
stands, which this is too big for one, but like the
Yeah.
peg size is different, and she wouldn't go down all the way. So I had to put her in a flight stand. That was like, that's the only other one that I have. So
I hear you. All right, we're on number 3. I feel like I just had this one on the show, and I think I did, like maybe an episode ago. The only hot toy that made the list is the Mandalorian, the Beskar. Every time I pick it up, I feel like everything is going to fall. It's got a lot of stuff on it that you attach like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, so you have to be careful with them. And I don't like putting the they have the grip that goes around the waist, but I don't like to put the grip around the waist because if they're wearing like a cape, then the cape kind of gets like a fold in it and it stays in there because I don't move them around a lot. So, and I don't like to get folds all over the back of the capes and stuff. So I usually turn the little thing around and just kind of nudge him up against the back of the stand or whatever. But I think he's got all the bells and whistles, but it's funny. I think 2-3 days ago, they put up a third Mandalorian. So now there's another one. And this one comes with the actor likeness. So they continue to take their, and Boba Fett's like stuff. So they continue to come out with these now. We might get 4 or 5 before it's over. Who knows?
Wouldn't be surprised. Okay, well, number 3 for me, I'm very proud of this one. Zartan. One of my favorite villains from the G.I. Joe Cobra line. I love this guy. The only thing I wish they would have done was include the color change feature, but I'm okay without it. I'm okay. It's not a big deal. The look of him is just perfect. They nailed him in my book. And this has instantly become one of my favorite action figures, period. I just love everything about him.
I thought you were about to say this has been my favorite action figure to like mess with and pose and stuff, but you're like showing them like in this.
I pose him in my mind. Yeah. Excellent articulation. Yeah.
Number 3 for me, just because I believe this is the ultimate version, and I always thought when I saw this guy on screen, I saw these like cool looking wings coming out the back. Reminded me of like, I mean, it was awesome, So this is who I put up there, and I believe we're still supposed to get sweeps, so a little bit different than the Scourge. So I canceled my other 2 pre-orders for 2 more Scourges. Yeah. That way I can just buy 2 sweeps.
I'm curious how it's going to be different. Oh, well.
What?
Yeah, I do want to see
the mustache or goatee or something.
I don't know. Maybe Dalton, slightly different color.
Dalton says Kingdom Air Razor. She's by far the best figure in the Kingdom line so far. In my opinion, she's sculpted so close to the cartoon model. Hopefully we see the show deco at some point.
Yeah, she was on my list originally. Very good figure.
Had to get her.
If I only collected Transformers, she would definitely be on that list for sure.
All right, we got number 2. Man, I'm debating flipping them off 2 and 1. They're good, but
all right, coming in at number 2. I think you guys already said this one, but number 2, Zartan, and they knocked it out of the park. I added the bow. The bow is from in-game Hawkeye, but if you read the comics, then you gotta have the bow from the comics.
I was about to say mine didn't come with a bow.
Yeah, I had to make it better. I really like the comics, and he's obviously he's a big part of Snake Eyes' origin. So I like the backpack. He's got the extra mask in the backpack, like the OG, that most of us had growing up. But I also like you can put the little monkey's paw, it's kind of in there, monkey's paw and the little snake thing either on the backpack or on his belt. So I really like that. And then you've also got, the hood is removable. His little scarf is removable. He's got a gun that's very OG.
Love that gun. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's the only guy that can get away with like wearing this little cut off like 80s Wham shirt, but like it's armored up. But he's totally rocking like that 80s cut off shirt.
It's a
which
Gold's
none of us
Gym.
can get away with.
Yeah, it's a Gold's Gym shirt that he just like dyed black. So
it's crazy.
I remember seeing that in the 80s all the time, man. Dude was wearing Gold's Gym's cut off shirts that looked like they were sweat. They looked like Bill Belichick, basically. Like big baggy, like 5XL sweaters, but they cut off the sleeves and then cut off the stomach, to where it's like they're just wearing these baggy bras or something. So
he gets away with it, and then most of us consider him. I mean, like this guy lives in the swamps. He's like a vampire, lives in the swamps in the shadows, and then he wears a cut-off shirt, and we're like total badass. I mean, that doesn't usually happen, but with Zartan, it does.
Love that figure. I mean, just that did it for me. Number 2 for me, it's going to be another Transformer. And it was already mentioned already, but it's going to be Cyclonus. Kingdom Cyclonus. Best Cyclonus ever. I don't care what anybody says. The transformation in that jet mode, they pulled it off. It's very clean. They made him sleek, which is the way he should be. He's very lanky, the way he should be in his robot mode. I love the face sculpt. I love the look of him. Everything about him I love. Again, I agree with Dalton. I do wish they made him a little bit darker. I'd love to see a G1 toy color version come out in the Generation Selects line. I'd be all over that. But and as it is, go ahead.
The transformations also, other than Hot Rod, I like his transformation probably second best. It's very good. It's fun. You know, when you pick up a Transformer and it's actually fun, he's one of those guys.
He seems to hold together really well too. That's another plus. That nose cone collapsing in of itself. That's one of the most genius things that they've done in this line. No kibble. Love it.
Dalton says, Studio Series 86 Grimlock. It says, I don't have any other third-party representations of Grimlock, but having the power of the Prime one, this one is such a step up from having him more classic leader class size. It's just the icing on the top. So
yeah, Dalton, compare him to the old classics version, or the Shattered Glass version, same mold. Wow, I mean they jumped up like a million since then.
Yeah, I gave those as soon as I saw the Grimlock, and it was like we're getting the rest of them. I'm like, dude, I gave my little 2-year-old nephew, my Dinobot, the power of the Prime Dinobots. I'm like, here.
He's making out pretty well with his action figure collection.
Yeah, man.
I saw mine.
Number 2. I had to move him down, even though this is the best Hot Rod we've ever gotten, and there's no need to buy another Hot Rod after this. Like, it's so good. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I remember, as a kid, Christmas, opening up actually a Hot Rod and a Rodimus Prime I had got for that Christmas, 1986. So, or whatever year, Christmas, whenever they came out for Christmas, whatever that year. So, and just, and then the one that we got like not too long ago, what was it? Titans Returns.
Right.
I think with a head to where I was just looking at it, I'm like, you can do so much better than this. Like, this is like not really even close, And I was like, again, that's another figure. I'm giving that figure to another nephew, the other nephew, to where, like, because this is the ultimate version. I buy this, I don't have to worry about a better version coming out. Like, even if they did, like, it's like not going to finish. it's not going to blow this one out of the water, is what I'm saying. Like these are so close to perfection that even if they do come out with better ones, the difference in them is not going to be like Power of the or Titan's Returns hot rod versus this hot rod, or Power of the Primes, you know, Grimlock versus this Grimlock. It's not going to be that big of a difference. So you can buy now these with confidence, knowing that you don't have to, you know, you're good on those characters. Now you can start looking for some of the other characters, you know?
Yeah.
Totally with you on that.
All right. Number one. Best figure so far. We're halfway through the year. Top figure so far for me. This is super easy. First draft, he was there. Major Blood. This is, in my opinion, the best figure in the line. He's got everything I want. Removable tags, removable helmet, 2 guns, 1 gun that's very OG. Holster. He's got a backpack. He's got missiles in the backpack. Great sculpt. This is home run. I hope that everything after this one is as good as this one.
Yeah, he's amazing.
All right, what you got number one support?
Number one for me, and I'm sorry, Josh. I know you're gonna be really upset with this one, but the number one for me is, please don't kick me off the show, Kingdom Galvatron.
Oh, the Galvatron. All right.
Kingdom Galvatron.
Yeah.
This is everything I wanted. I mean, when I heard that this was going to come out, I immediately sold my Titan's Return one. He was gone faster than you can shake a stick at. And this guy, the proportions are, don't worry about it. What you saw in those photos, he looks so much better in person. The cannon mode is okay. I'm not really too concerned with the cannon mode, but it's not bad. And I think you can take off the plastic chain off the Matrix and put your own on. When you buy this, you know about the shoulder issue. But if you look, if you find him in the store, look in the window and look at his shoulders. If it's smooth in the center of the shoulder, if it's curved with the shape of the sides of the shoulder, that means the shoulders are mounted correctly. If there are little gaps and bumps like a gear type of thing showing, then the shoulders are not put on correctly. So try to find the ones that have this, it's all smooth, where the centerpiece is lined up with the rest of the shoulder, if that makes any sense. When you see it, you'll know.
Okay.
But you can look down through the window in the store, and you can definitely tell if it's smooth or not. And there is a shoulder fix, but trust me, if you can find one that's fixed, like this one I found at Target, it's, save yourself a headache, But beautiful figure. It's easy to get off that schmutz that they put on him. I heard people say that it's real easy to take off with some rubbing alcohol. So you can clean him up and make him look clean and easy, and put him with your Studio Series 86 stuff.
And that's the one thing is Hasbro, like, not only are they charging me more for putting that stuff on there, now I got to spend more money to go buy the rubbing alcohol to get it off.
Yeah.
I think that's worth mentioning. So he would have made my list. My problem is about 90% of what's out there right now has the incorrect shoulders, and that's on Hasbro. I had to order a new one with the correct shoulders because I'm not doing the fix. I attempted to do the fix. I put 10 minutes in. It wasn't going to be worth it for me. It might be worth it for some folks. And I've fixed a lot of stuff. I put together Transformers from scratch on the sprue in the BotCon figure 3 or 4 times. So I know what I'm doing, but I'm not doing that.
Did you rotate the bicep by any chance?
Did I what?
You have to rotate the bicep.
I watched 3 figures and reached out to another buddy that had done it.
Right.
It's not worth it. So I ordered a new one, the correct one. And what Josh just said,
from BBTS, so I have no idea what mine's gonna look like. So
It just depends on when they ship it. If they ship it like a few months from now, you might have better luck.
Yeah.
But everything out there, almost everything right now is incorrect.
Okay, it's already in my pile.
Just be careful with it. Do your research on it. But what you also said about having to remove the paint or whatever, the scuffs.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That figure, look, if you've watched any videos where people have removed the scuffs or seen any of the photography without the scuffs, it's 100 times better. That's a fact.
Yeah.
By the way.
Fortunately,
I agree with you.
There's not too much to remove. Like Ultra Magnus, they went nuts with him in the Siege Magnus.
I think based on the fact that those two problems are pretty severe, I think we're going to get another one, and I bet it's going to get a premium finish or something. I think we're going to get another one for sure.
I'd still buy it, and I'd buy a G1 toy repaint of it too. That's how much I like it. Yeah,
I think we get 2 or 3. I could see us doing that, but I think that they're going to correct this and give us a better one. People are not happy about that, and it's a good figure. Mm-hmm. The transformation is fun. I had one little issue with the bottom of the cannon and pushing those tabs in. A few people have had the same issue.
Yeah.
But once you do it, it stretches it out a little bit, and the second time it's fine. But the cannon looks good. So it could have been on the list. Just can't forgive all those things. I try.
Yeah. All right. And let's see. Dressing says best Autobots ever got was the Gig Power ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good. And Action Figure Expert joins us. What's up, guys? And Dalton said his number one's going to be the HasLab Unicron.
Oh, he went there.
Yeah. So and then he's talking about Pringles or something like that on his leg. I don't know what he's talking about, but
the layers of the shell pieces. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's Transformer fans' fascination with always like relating Transformers to like some type of food or something like that? Always hear like, oh, he's got waffles, and now Dalton's like he's got Pringles. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This must be some like new younger generation of Transformer collectors where they just like relate everything. They look at it and wow. Look at it. Garlic rolls.
Look at them Pringles there.
Yeah, look at them garlic rolls.
Right.
Like I don't understand. Like, but whatever. All right. I showed this off the other day, but one of my favorite characters is Ahsoka Tano. And then another reason why I like her is because her nemesis is so awesome as well, and that's Ventress. So I went with the Black Series Ventress. The head sculpt and paint looks great. The mix with the soft goods, I think it was done well. Just really cool looking little figure. So I had to put her at number one. So Hot Rod was almost there, but I'm like, man, I just could. That's one of those characters that I'm like, I've been waiting on, and I knew whenever I got her, I was like, man, please just don't screw this up. You know, like, where's this character? You know, I've been waiting since they announced that they were doing Black Series line. I'm like, oh man, dude, I want an Ahsoka and I want a Ventress, man. And like, how long? When did this line start? Like 2012?
Years ago, man.
2011? Yeah. Like, so it's been going on for like almost 10 years, man.
Yeah.
That's how long I've been waiting on a Ventress. So
she could have been a Cobra Island exclusive. You know, she could have been one of those Target exclusives or a Walmart exclusive. Maybe even one of those Walgreen exclusives. So you got lucky. You got lucky with the main line.
God, release. Man, they're gonna put a little red coat on her from when she's with the Night Sisters, and they're gonna make it Target exclusive. I already know it.
All the Night Sisters, brothers, everyone Night related is going to be Target.
Anything that has red on it. Yep.
All right. Well, that is each of our top 10 so far of 2021. So again, it could change up a little bit as we get more stuff in. You know, so But I got a feeling that a lot of this stuff, we'll make on the list because at the end of the year, we're going to do a top 20 2021. We do so many just because of the fact that all three of us collect so many different lines. Like you could even just like each one of us, you could just be like, what's your top 20 figures of just like Star Wars figures, and or Masters of the Universe or Transformers, and like we would be able to make a list just on that. So adding so many different brands, I think.
How many do you think you've bought? I thought about this yesterday. How many do you think you've bought since January 1? If you had to put just a ballpark estimate to action figures.
How many? I'd have to look on Instagram and like count them up, but I wouldn't say these are my top 10 figures. They're not my top 10 purchases because I also got,
we collect vintage
chairs,
stuff.
My
and
PS5 and stuff like that. So,
but if you had to just put a ballpark to how many action figures, not new releases or vintage, that you've bought this year, would it be over 100?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, me too.
Shit, my last haul was like 30-something figures or something. So
exactly. So if people are watching and they're wondering like how hard it is to get 10, I feel like I've bought 200 figures this year already.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the rest of this year brings, but I know we still got Bobby's the Valaverse Action Force figures come out in August. There's a ton of Hot Toys that you and I like, Josh, that are hitting probably this fall or winter.
Hot Toys Ahsoka is going to be on that list for sure, buddy.
If they hit their dates, and the Ahsoka's Troopers too. There's a lot of good stuff coming up, so it should be interesting by the time we get to like January 1.
All right, so Sport, we'll probably put your topic on hold for next show.
Sure.
But we're going to get into some screen share. We're going to kind of just show off some highlights of things that, we'd be interested in, things that we think you guys might be interested in. Again, so what is it? The Goku, the Dragon Ball Z stuff. I know there's like a couple people that like it. None of us collect that stuff. So, we're not going to get into it. So like all the stuff that we don't collect, we're not really going to cover. But whenever it comes to Masters of the Universe, Star Wars, Marvel Legends, Transformers, Turtles, stuff like that, like Thundercats, whenever that comes back around or whatever, we'll cover that too. So
Thundercats someday.
All right, so to kick us off, I just wanted to kind of skim through some Transformers. So I'll kind of go through all of them, but you just kind of talk through Transformers. This one here, this was one that I'm like, that's kind of cool, but I don't believe I need it, and I think it would have been better if they sold it as a 2-pack with Wheeljack.
I need it, but I do agree with you. I think this would have been the perfect convention exclusive with Wheeljack. Yep. And I would have used the backdrop of the cartoon and made it just did it up where they're in a pose, together. Maybe he's sliding into the back of Wheeljack and they're both in car mode. That's something they normally don't do. We always get robot mode in the package usually. So, but yeah, I think that would have I think it's worth it because it's one of the first memories that anybody has if you've been following this since it came out, the day that cartoon aired, or if you caught it much later, it's still the first episode. I think that's worthy of something like that, like Josh said, with Wheeljack, do it up, a nice little 2-pack.
And I mean, you talk about, it should have been kind of a convention exclusive, kind of a cool idea. I mean, that's kind of or Pulse. That's kind of what you're getting here too with the Shattered Glass stuff,
Yeah.
I wonder how hard it'll be to do that Wheeljack though, because his alt form is so different from what he looks like in robot form. That's gonna be tough to pull off, but should be interesting if they could.
they've pulled off some crazy stuff over the years.
And he'll be a shell former probably, but still.
Yeah, I'm also getting all the Shatterglass stuff. It's BotCon 2008 was a great year, and I'm glad that they're homaging that. I've seen a few videos this week. People that may not have been big Transformers fans were covering it and wondering why. Well, that's why they're homaging a convention that a lot of Transformers fans look at fondly, and Shatterglass happened to be one of their premier years, and so.
And looking at this, I wish they did the bird flame on the hood on tracks the way they did on Road Rage.
Yeah.
There,
They kind of did him dirty. Yeah. I mean, and that's the tracks is the main one,
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But she got the better hood deco.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope to find her though. She is a Target exclusive, but painted rims and everything. She looks cool. She looks good.
Yeah, as soon as you saw the color red, we all knew Target exclusive, which we'll get into some of those a little bit later on. But it's going to be one of those, like, if I happen to find her, cool, I'll pick it up. But I'm not going to, break my back and lose sleep over not getting this. So, Fans Toys are going to be coming out with a Tesla 2.0. This is just going to be kind of more of a
it's
cartoon
a more
type inspired.
And I have this on pre-order, and my God, he's over $200. Their prices have gone through the roof.
Yeah. Have you been to get groceries lately?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it's getting crazy out there. It's getting crazy for everything.
They're more than doubled. So,
dude,
yeah, man.
Ammo is expensive, man. I went to the shoot gun range. What was it? Sunday or Monday? I forget which day it was. And I mean, you're sitting there, and I'm just empty a clip. My clips are 17, and I'm just like, it's every time it popped out, you see the cartridge pop out. You're just like, ching, 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 ching. Yeah,
every time.
And because I'm not, I went with my uncle, and like I'm not going slow, because I'm like, no, I'm putting myself in a real situation to where if I needed to use it for defense, I'm not gonna sit there and take my aim and then shoot and re-aim. No, like I'm getting you down in my sights, and I'm cling, 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 cling.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. You're just upping your chances of knockout.
Yeah.
You dead.
Put some holes in you.
What's up, Randy? Books? Yeah, like $1 a bullet.
Pretty much. I mean.
I found what is this place called? Is it Lucky Gunner? Go to Lucky Gunner. That's where I'm gonna start buying my ammo. This is where my uncle buys it. And there's some good prices, like Remington, like under 50 cents. So, anyways, off topic, but so I figured I'd help someone out. So, Planet X, we know that Barrett, he's into this, but see, Planet X, I mean, it's like they just come around with a figure like once every 2 years just to remind us that like they're still around and haven't closed the doors.
We're still here.
Now, have they done a Grimlock before yet?
Didn't they do a different version of a Grimlock?
I guess this is supposed to be like an IDW version or something.
This is the oh god, what was it? Can't remember it now.
It does look. It does.
It is IDW.
Yeah, that head is definitely the Autobot head or Grimlock head is definitely IDW. Yes.
Okay, Dalton just confirming for me.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the head on him, I'm like, "Yep, that's IDW."
Randy Books, because I'm heading there now. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just order like 300 rounds, or not 300, 500 rounds for like just under $300. So you like the Planet X? They kind of feel irrelevant now. Yeah,
I don't know.
I like the IDW stuff, but this isn't one that I have to have. Like, I have a lot of the MMC stuff.
Yeah,
that
I was
they've
going to say
done.
the same thing. Yeah,
but that one's just okay. I wasn't crazy about those designs, honestly. There's a lot of IDW stuff that I love, but Grimlock never really did it for me in the comics.
And sport, you're into the little guys. Is there any need for the MS Toyz?
It's tempting, you know that? It is. But again, I'm really cherry picking the Legends line because of their prices.
I mean, it looks like it's very nicely detailed.
Yeah.
For a small little figure. I'm looking at it and I'm like, and the colors look bright and vibrant too. That always, like, whenever I see that, I'm like, okay, it comes off as like higher quality. Mm-hmm. And instead of whenever they do those dull colors, and I'm like, that looks cheap. That looks like something that, that's gonna fall apart. Does it have price on this thing? Oh, let's see.
Yeah, I wish that New Kingdom Ultra Magnus had those colors. It's a little dark for my taste.
This is Magic Square, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just the armor piece, though. You have to have the cap separately.
Jesus, man. Why can't these companies make stuff easy?
Because that would be too easy.
All right. Here's something that I kind of wanted to get into. We don't have to make it a huge, long topic, but we just looked at a couple of third parties. You said the MS Toy thing, the little guy. He's expensive and it's complicated. You have to buy this one thing and you have to buy the armor and the figure. So, nothing simple there. And then you look at the Planet X thing. I'm sure that thing's over $100. The Tesla thing from Fans Toys, you said it's over a couple $100. Those are all knockoffs. Okay, they're knockoffs, and because they are, we look at some stuff sometimes to where it is officially licensed by Hasbro or Takara. A lot of the times it's non-transform, but they are knockoffs. Like it's not authentic, and they're charging that amount of money. Like I guess it would make sense if they were charging that amount and they were having to pay like a license fee or something like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, like any of what is like any of these video games? What is that one? Like Fortnite or whatever the kids like. Like every once in a while they'll throw in like Marvel character or something in there, I believe. Well, when they do that, they have to pay. Like Marvel, there's some type of agreement there to where there's money exchange. For the rights to use their figure. That being said, this is a couple of new companies from China where they're making their own characters. At first, when I looked at these, I was like, okay, what are these? The Seacons? But you get to looking at them, they're completely different in designs. And I wonder with so many of these companies that are just like, all right, let's knock off another one of the Hasbro Takara, Transformer characters, to where there's so many of them out there that not everyone's going to get bought up. That to see if there's more companies that start to do like their own thing, because Transformers wasn't always Transformers,
right.
Like there was other stuff, beforehand, and they kind of sold a story and got engagement and made you like it. Same thing when they did with Beast Wars, they were like, it's Transformers, but it was like all like new characters and stuff, and there's like Dakota and Dalton, and you guys collect the Beast Wars stuff as well. So like totally new characters, total new story, and we're able to sell you on it. I just don't see why more companies don't try to go down this path. But I wanted to look at a couple of their figures because some of them look pretty cool and some of them look pretty sturdy if we look at the next tab as well. But just start a little conversation about that. What do you think? Do you think that more may start, kind of making their own stuff, or do you think this is just a cycle that? Because I just don't understand how they can charge that much because they're not paying a license fee. And I guess it's just because fans are willing to pay it, which I think is crazy.
I think it's a little bit of the fans are willing to pay it, but also much smaller production run.
Yeah, a lot smaller production runs.
And that drives up the price.
I think early on, I feel like the third party there's a few. So Fans Project tried to do a little bit of fiction, and they had someone write a few comics. I want to say it was Steel Core. It's been years ago, so
that's right.
I tell you, the years start to blur between third party Transformers and collecting all this stuff. But early on, the first few years, Fans Project started to do something like that. They were writing some fiction. They had a little club. I remember joining the club. You could earn points or gems or something. And I remember ordering a few things. They might have done 1 or 2 figures that weren't knockoffs of characters that we already know. I enjoyed it. I was hoping that it was going to blow up, and that's something that was going to give us some new characters that kind of lived within that world of that Cybertronian kind of world that we liked, but new characters. Maybe some of them kind of gave you design cues of characters that you liked in the past, but they were brand new and something new, fresh. It just didn't go that way. I think that, and now if I think about things, our age group, and I'd even say it's a broad age group. I'd say it's 25 to 50, something like that, somewhere in there. We are already buying so many things of stuff that we loved as kids, whether it's 80s or 90s, even 70s. There's not enough money left at the end of the day. And I think that, I don't know if they assumed it or they had good data to support it. But everybody wants stuff. They're not willing to put those things on hold or not buy them and buy fresh stuff when there's so much stuff that we already love, like an Optimus Prime or a Megatron and I know we've talked about stuff like that before, like why is Optimus Prime in every wave and things like that. But the problem is we're buying every Optimus Prime that they release, and we're not going to get the fresh figures as long as we're doing that. I'm part of the problem. I know we've all bought figures like that time and time again. So I consider myself to be part of the problem. But in the same token, I have gone at like that Steel Core. I have 2 of them. And again, I read the little comic books and I was excited about it. I remember talking to a few folks who also collected that stuff, not in our group. I heard about some stuff that they were working on behind the scenes. And again, I don't know what happened. I don't know how it fell apart. I think it's an interesting topic. I'd like to know, because I think you raise a great point. I would love new characters. We talk about some of this stuff in our little, we'll have a little group chat and we'll talk. And I remember not too long ago, I'm like, man, I wish they would make like that SWAT team of a merge group that was a SWAT team, or like a merge group that were all like these, what was the thing I had pulled? Like hot rods, but like, the old drawings that you would see of like, it's a hot rod, but it's like over the top. When I say hot rod, I mean like the big engines in the front, raised in the back. You kind of would see like pinup girls with them throughout the years, stuff like that. Like I would love to see like a line of something like that was all new characters. So we've talked about stuff like that. I just wonder if there's enough interest from everyone to want new characters, not just for Transformers. I always say the same thing about G.I. Joe. I feel like some people don't want to put their money where their mouth is sometimes. Like, in other words, here's my point. G.I. Joe puts up a Viper, a Major Blood, a Duke, a Scarlet, and here's this new character. and you haven't read the comic, maybe they've been in the comic for 3 months, and they put that on the shelf. And my question is, do you order the whole wave, or do you just get the ones that you love? That's a good question.
If the character looks cool, you know.
And I think that's a big factor there.
At some point, whenever I went in to go shop for a G.I. Joe, I didn't know who all the characters were. But I was like, well, I'm going to buy one that I don't have, and I'm going to buy one that I think is the coolest one that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I went with it. You look at Bobby Vala, he's releasing some figures to where they're in that scale. They have, good weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
And again, it goes to, I don't know these characters. Now he's putting stuff with it as well to develop a story.
Yeah,
but
great
also
fiction.
It can go with, just like if Hasbro was like, this is a brand new G.I. Joe character. Well, to me, I'm going to go back to the way I was when I was a kid. Does he look cool? Or is there a group that he can go with? If he comes out looking all kind of punk and got a ponytail and glasses on, I'm like, oh, well, he's going to go with like Zartan and, Renegades and stuff like that. And comes with like some crazy weapon,
Yeah.
He's going to go with those guys. So, hey, I can put him like with Blowtorch and them, to where he's like the new group to go with them. And it makes sense, Hey, to come out with some like kind of new ninja looking, Viper looking guy, where he's got some type of armor and suit or whatever. I don't care if he doesn't go. He's the same scale. He's got weapons, or accessories, or whatever. Then I'll buy him up and I can put him with him because, hey, it's just some new version. It's the same thing as whenever they came out with with a new season. Like here, they keep on introducing all these different Vipers, and you watch it, you're like, I remember watching someone being like, well, that one sucks. I don't care about that one, but I'm like, but that one's awesome. It wasn't like whenever they came out with the Cobra bats that everyone was like, I don't care about bats. They're new. Like, I don't know about this new robot trooper. I just want Cobra troopers and Vipers. No, everybody wanted bats, because they were awesome. So I put that with it because, one, they're not Bobby Vala. He's not trying to be like, these are G.I. Joes. He's not labeling them Duke, or whatever. He's
got a nice combination of things that you remember. I would say it's like 90% and 10%. 10% he's got Sergeant Slaughter as part of the that wave one, and that's very impactful. It's very, very cool.
But he paid for that license, so it's not a knockoff Joe. That's I just wanted to make sure, because Randy looks at, he says, as far as third parties, they're not really knockoffs though. Right. They are knockoffs though, because they, like I said, they don't pay for that licensing fee, so they're illegally made. It would be like, I forget which car it was, but there was back in the 80s, I think, or late 80s, early 90s, you had the Ford Mustang. Well, I think Plymouth, they came out with a car and they tried to make it look really close to what the Mustang looked like, its body. But it wasn't a Mustang. They can try to make it look like it is all they want. And, they didn't call it Mustang, but, you knew it wasn't a Mustang. It was an imitation,
Called it a Daytona.
Yeah. Is that what it was called? I forget what it was called.
So. Daytona.
I remember my friend had one. I'm like, oh, did you get a Mustang? She was like, no, it's like something else or whatever.
Well, getting to your point with what you're saying, like Masters of the Universe Classics, they had that 30th anniversary subline where different people created a new character, and the Four Horsemen created Drago Man, which is an all new original character which everybody loved.
Yeah.
But Mighty Spectre was the one that everybody hates.
Yeah.
So the cool factor, I think, is a big factor in how well a figure is accepted. Like Windblade is a new character in Transformers. Windblade, the female one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people seem to like her. Yeah.
In the comics. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I'm just looking at like these. We'll take Fans Toys for instance. It's obvious that you have some. Because I'm not calling their stuff trash by no means. I've handled a lot of their stuff.
Yes.
So I'm not saying that it's trash or anything when I call it knockoffs. I'm just saying that it's not officially licensed, so it's a knockoff. Yeah. So they make good quality stuff. We all know that. They have talented design team. They're having. It's like whenever I say that Hasbro with like, why aren't you, or Takara, why haven't I got my Masterpiece G1 Galvatron yet? Because it's not like you have to get some official license from like Space Cannon company, because it doesn't exist. It's your own design, so you get to play with it. And if it's a little bit off somewhere, that's okay, because it doesn't have to be absolutely, perfect, to fit that license, to keep that license, like they had to do with Lamborghini and Nissan, and these other companies. They don't have to do that. So that's where I'm like, this whole time, Fans Toys and other third-party companies, you're playing under this, under the grounds that you're trying to make it as accurately as possible for characters that other people have designed. You might be able to design something a lot better, and so maybe you can just blow people out of the water with it.
I think the Bobby Vala, the Valaverse stuff in Action Force is a really good example because and I the risk is there for him, but if you look at it, it's the recipe of success. You've got someone who is making some of the best Marvel Legend figures, working for Hasbro. He worked with the G.I. Joe brand as well. So you got Toy of the Year the other year with the Infinity Gauntlet, that first one. So you've got this guy who understands toy design, and not only does he understand it, but he's at the top of his game. And then he made some good decisions. He did everything you could do. Like you say, he got the licenses. He's working with Sergeant Slaughter. He got Steel Brigade, that name. And now he has his own fiction, and it's pretty cool, deep fiction. And this first series, most of it is stuff you've never heard of before or seen, like the Swarm, and Condor and some of this stuff. It looks familiar. It's got that military vibe. It's much closer to like real guns, real ammo, real accessories than Hasbro can give you or is willing to give you. It's got better articulation and all those things. So it's a good example to see, and maybe other people. Bobby's brave, but at the same time, I think he's a genius for what he's pulling off right now, how I think this is going to go. It'll be a good example because every once in a while, something comes along and it makes the toy companies have to level up. So if you look at third party, we have good things to say about it and bad things to say about it. Third party leveled up Hasbro. Without that third party stepping in, I do not believe that they would have upped their game to where we're on a show right now saying, hey, that's the Grimlock, that's the only Grimlock I need. That's the only hot rod that I need. I think that, look at that Jetfire that came out the other year.
Yeah.
Who, if anybody's willing to tell me that they didn't study Fans Toys Phoenix to get to that Jetfire, looking at the previous two Jetfires that we got, I'd say you're wrong. Right. Because they're paying attention to what's out there. They're watching YouTube videos. So like I said, the point is someone always comes along who's willing to take that risk. And sometimes it'll work out. And I'm hoping this story blows up. I've ordered all those things, and I'm hoping in August that I am, sitting in a room with all these things around me. And I want to be as happy as I was when I was, like Josh said, you go to the store, and you're getting these brand new GI Joes. You have no idea, you don't know a whole lot about them, but they look cool. And that's kind of how I feel about Action Force right now. Is they look cool, and I can't wait to get them in my hands and explore them. What's better, what's he doing better. So
that was fun thing about the 80s is toy companies were coming out with all these new things. Back in the 80s, all this stuff was pretty new. The G.I. Joe, American Hero stuff, Transformers was new, Massive Universe was new, Ninja Turtles was new. These toy companies were not afraid to throw out something that's completely original. And you just don't see that anymore.
Ready to
fiction.
Probably had stuff lined up for a while. It was just Reagan let the floodgates open, and then bam, here it all came.
That's exactly right. We were bombarded with fiction. We love the fiction. We love that fiction. This whole room is
that
fiction.
Definitely helped a lot. Yeah, and you just don't have it anymore. And unfortunately, with what we see with the new Transformers animated stuff, the Kingdom and all, that's a mess. I mean, I mean, the last good cartoon we got was probably Transformers Prime.
Correct. I agree.
And
they spent money on that too.
Yeah,
they spent money on that.
The story was good. The voice actors were good. They did not talk slowly as the thing went on. Yeah. So, they invested a lot. Look at the Master of the Universe Revelation. Mattel spent a lot of money on that one.
I'd like to see people take risks. My only problem right now is I don't see enough people with open minds willing to take in new characters. And that means all of them. Like when we got G.I. Joe, like Josh said, some of them he thought looked cool and some of them he thought didn't.
Right.
You have to be willing to, maybe some of them are going to look cool to you and some of them aren't. But man, right now with social media, the quick judgment without watching stuff, and we've all done it at some point, not even knowing what it is.
Okay.
We have to be open-minded when it comes to those things, and not if we give the impression to the people that are taking the risk, and maybe they're trying to just get data to find out, is there enough interest to do something fresh, like Josh was talking about with this new company, doing these robots that we don't recognize exactly. They look a little different. We can't judge too quickly. When they show their silhouette and you're like, I'm out. That's judging too quickly. We've done that too. But I'm all for it. I'm all for new characters, some old characters, some new characters, a combination of both. I'd love to see that.
Look at the God Skeletor from Masterverse.
And also like a different brands. So like they keep on thinking that we need to keep on doing G.I. Joe or Transformers Master Universe, but like eventually like they came out with I forget what you want to call it, a brand called Sectars. It was made by Coleco. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was cool. The hand puppet electronics. They had little gimmicks and stuff. The figures were like 7 inches. They were highly detailed. And I was just like, man, this is awesome. I think they got 3 cartoons and 4 mini comics or 5 mini comics or something like that. They got a play set too called The Hive, which is like over 2 feet tall. And I had a bunch of those figures. But you know what? That's a line that, hey, someone took some risks there. I really like that. I hoped more people would get on it. But to be honest, it was probably too scary for a lot of kids who they were, because like, dude, they were like tarantulas and huge wasps and all that stuff. So, one of the guys even had like a tarantula head. I'm trying to think of what his name was, but not important. But anyway, so that didn't work. What did work was a little bit later coming out, this Disney cartoon called Gargoyles. Now, some people could have looked at that and been like, okay, maybe a little bit too, scary. It's a little bit dark. But you watch it and you're like, okay, well, this is actually
pretty good.
Great writing.
Put together well, This is like a Batman animated series, type thing. where a lot of people could have. Well, everybody knew Batman, by that time was, but the point is like that Gargoyles was a new franchise, Sectaurs was a new franchise. One didn't hit, but that doesn't mean that the people that were making Gargoyles need to look at Sectaurs or Air Raiders or Starcom or any of the Brave Star. Some of the ones that weren't as big didn't make it huge to where they're big brands that we're still putting on our shelf, a brand new product today. That someone's still, they're out there still taking that risk to where here we are, and we're gonna look later. A tease at our second Gargoyle figure where they're made by NECA, which we're all like, these figures aren't going to hold up well. Better get some strong flight stands because I ain't putting these suckers on their ankles. But we're like, you know what? I still want to buy them. Even then, I was like, I hate that they're NECA, but God, man, I want them. So, I mean, there's going to be more future brands out there because I know they just keep on remaking stuff that we got from the 80s. And hey, I like it, but hey, I like new stuff too.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we got Mike Mahone. He says, preach in here. So, continuing on, got some non-Transformers type news, and this is also Rick's gonna kind of talk about exclusives because we're gonna look at JoJo's and Star Wars stuff here. I'm just gonna be kind of skimming through it, but one quick thing I wanted to show you here: 2 Target exclusives, and I know everyone's already like, "This is terrible," but I've just clicked on these 2 things here, and this. Oh, look, that pre-order just sold out. Dang.
He's been up once or twice more since he originally went up.
Okay. I would check on him because right before the show, I just pre-ordered this guy. And then this one, he's still available for pre-order. Barbecue, I pre-ordered him a couple days ago. And I was surprised, too. I'm like, what? He's still up? I'm like, so I was able to get those. So I would keep checking back on these.
Yeah. Good old barbecue.
Yeah. I mean, when I was talking about this, it's almost like a quick catch up just to compare, especially with the folks in the chat too and folks that are watching. So I guess it was last week or the week before, the week that they put up Breaker and Barbecue. And also they put up the Star Wars exclusives at Walmart. And I just wanted to compare like what's working now, what's not, what's better, what's worse. And like Josh said, the Target exclusives for those 2 figures was better. They also went up on Pulse for like a few minutes as well because I managed to get an order of each one on Pulse. But Target, you could order 1 per household, 1 per your address. And I think that's better. It wasn't sold out in 4 seconds or 9 seconds like the previous Target Cobra Island exclusives. So I think that's much better. I think we can all agree. And also that I think it was that same week or the week before, people were finding major bloods. Maybe not everyone, but I know people locally. I know a guy locally that said he saw 21 out there. That's a lot. I saw some pictures on Instagram where there was 11, 12 on the shelf. So that's awesome. I think they're at least doing that better, at least in most locations, maybe.
Yeah.
But the Star Wars is the opposite. So that day I was at my computer. I was set. I knew who needed them. I knew who didn't. So I was going to get a few extra, at least 2 or 3 when I ordered them to cover, my guys here in the show. And they both went up. I managed to get 3 of the Imperial crosshairs, and I had Rex in the cart, and this was in the first 20 seconds, and Rex would not check out. So it took me a second to even get through the checkout to get the other one. Finally, that one went out. I went up and I checked out with my Imperial crosshairs. Rex, for the next 30 minutes, I sat there and it kept saying 5 left, 6 left, 1 left. I tried to check out over 20 times and I had it in my cart over 20 times. So the site must have broke. I don't know if it ever came back. or what the deal was, but it was broken. That's on Walmart. Walmart has not figured it out. It was an awful pre-order day because that was ridiculous. I was ready. It should have went off pretty easily that day. We've been at this for what, a few years now with the exclusives, but
they might cancel them too. Walmart will cancel them on you.
Yeah,
well.
Walmart will cancel stuff sometimes. Anyway, so that was a bad experience, and I wanted to just talk through that. I don't know how everybody else's experience was, but I got one of the two. Now, on the same exact day, they had put out through multiple folks, Walgreens was going to get the 212th Battalion Trooper guy.
Yeah, I can't even find him on the website.
Couldn't find him.
Yeah.
I looked for about 30 minutes. I had someplace to go. Looked for about 30 minutes. Couldn't find him. When I got home, I looked again. I've checked since then, maybe 2 or 3 times. I never saw it. So don't know what happened with that. I'm assuming we'll find him in the store at some point, or at somewhere. So that was a total fail. Total fail. And then, but what I wanted to talk about too was, now the same exact week I went out. I knew I was going to go out on a Motu hunt. It was me and my kid, my 8-year-old. Went out on a Motu hunt. Local guy, name's John. Nice guy. Gave me a heads up on a few things. So I went out with my kid, and we both went to Target and Walmart, and we got the Buzzsaw Hordak Origins figure.
He's fun.
We got the Skella God, and we got Castle Grayskull, right?
Oh, you found
so
it.
we went out on a mission to a store with knowing exactly what we wanted. Went in the store, purchased it, and left happy. Came home, and the rest of the night we played with those figures. And nice. I mean, he gets so excited in the toy aisle. He sees this. He sees the Hordak, the Buzzsaw Hordak, and he can't reach it yet. It's way up there because I tell him not to climb on the shelf. He started to climb, but he comes up to me, he hugs me. He's like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." That's the kind of customer experience that you want people to have. So I had a fantastic toy hunt looking for Motu stuff. That's Mattel,
Right.
Hasbro. That's Mattel Hasbro. They got the He-Man license. It's blowing up, and I had a great customer experience. So
I don't even know what that's like anymore, man. I usually go in there looking for all my Hasbro stuff, and I just leave them with beer. And then hours later, I'm just complaining about it on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it usually goes. And look, they figured out the G.I. Joe thing enough to help most people. I feel like the customer experience for the pre-order with Target this time, and bringing the Bloods back into the store, I feel like they're doing better. We've talked about it on the show. We had a G.I. Joe special where we talked about Classified for a long while, everything that's come out. If you haven't watched it, watch it. But one of the things we kept saying, one of the things I've been preaching was it was going to get better. Josh said, I don't know. Rick keeps saying, hold on. I don't know if I can hold on, but I feel like they're doing a little bit better. So we'll keep watching it. But I think, like, as we do our shows, this is a topic where I think we should always come back and do a check-in. Where are we? I like to hear what the chat's finding too, and what you guys are finding and what our experiences are. But
I can't really read what Randy Book said, but he is having about the same experience as I am with Walmart. So
with the Walmart exclusives, yeah. Walmart can't seem to figure it out. I mean,
Leonardo's joining us as well, and Waddy Watts, what's up? So, get a journal search from Clone Wars. Okay, all right, I'm gonna finish sharing this stuff here, and so we got vintage collection. This is Amazon exclusive. But usually the Amazon exclusive a little bit easier to maintain, and it doesn't sell out immediately. So,
these four?
At least they said that these were the Amazon exclusive, or no, this is the Amazon exclusive. Yep. Yeah, okay, my
that's
bad.
The Amazon one.
Multiple stuff. That's again like, hey, we're just gonna just throw tons of stuff at you, several different lines. So this is your Amazon exclusive, my bad.
Yeah, that's the Amazon one. That sold out before I even knew about it. I didn't even know about it. And I consider myself to be a pretty big Star Wars collector. I couldn't be by the computer all day long. So it was sold out before I even knew about it.
Dude, and look at this set. What it all comes with. This is one that you want. Like, this doesn't need to be an exclusive. This needs to be mass retail because people will buy multiples.
Totally.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I sometimes I feel like we need to go to like the Hasbro office and just be like, let me show you how to actually make some money. Like, serious. This is a GameStop exclusive, dude. I didn't even go on the website and look at this thing, man.
Yeah, I didn't pre-order this one. I feel like I don't always do all the gaming grades. I do some of them, but I didn't do this one.
This is one that I feel like I might be able to find on sale like during some
That's
kind of GameStop thing.
Yeah.
That's how I felt too. I'm like, I think I'll be able to get that one later.
And these are the ones discussed earlier. This is a Walgreens exclusive. He's not even on the site, so I don't even know how you're supposed to pre-order him.
Yeah.
Walmart, and I'm just gonna see if I see them in store, I guess, and we'll see what happens. This is a Bad Batch guy, right? Is this supposed to be for Bad Batch 2?
It's supposed to be, yeah. Rex has been on a past episode, not this week's, but
okay. Well, he's definitely
two
Bad
episodes
Batch guy, right?
Yeah, that's the evil he's
Okay.
kind of a bad guy at the moment.
Okay, so I just don't know how you can come out with like regular retail release for Bad Batch guys, and then just be like, yo, and here's this one that it's exclusive.
Yeah.
So like, you got to give me the opportunity to complete these, you know?
Yeah.
Like if you want to change up Greedo's, jacket a different color, or I mean, this is what, the third or fourth time you sold me this one.
Yeah.
Third time you sold me this one, and third time you sold me this one.
At least
you want to make those exclusives, whatever. Knock yourself out.
Exactly. I skipped all three of those at the bottom.
Let's see. I was on our thing. Okay, so this is something from Marvel Legends that really the only thing that I was excited for is getting a Sandman, because I wasn't able to get that Build-A-Figure, so still need a Rhino. I believe this one is smaller. It's a smaller version than that Build-A-Figure. It doesn't have all the stuff, but you know what? I know some people were like, "Oh, I wish they would have just gave us the Build-A-Figure again." I'm like, I'm finally getting a Sandman. I don't have to go spend like a stupid amount of money, or go buy a bunch of figures that I don't want. Same thing with the Rhino. Let me just buy the Rhino, like you did with the Venom, and a couple other different figures. Like what was the one that just came out recently? MODOK or something?
Oh yeah, MODOK. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, the Kingpin, Venom.
Yeah.
You had an Apocalypse in there. The MODOK, toward these older, bigger ones that you could just buy. Just make the card bigger or whatever, the box big. Charge me a little bit more money, and let me buy them. So because I think that's all I'll need. But yeah, I'm happy with this, even though he's a little bit smaller. It represents the character. You can put him on your shelf.
Oh yeah.
He's still taller than Spider-Man, so that's good.
Yeah. He's got a very classic look.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
He's got the T-1000 effect.
Yeah.
Now this.
Yeah.
Little tease. Our next
the
Gargoyles
Angel
figure.
of the Night.
Demona. So yeah, this is like if I could only get one gargoyles character.
Gargoyle.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been up for a while, man. I haven't had
That's
any
okay.
sleep. So. Brain doesn't always work at 100% when you've been up for 26 hours. So, but yeah, if I could only have one character, it would have been Demona.
Yeah.
So
she got a lot of good character story too. Demona got some of the best.
Yeah. So to see that, I mean, even if it ended, like I could be cool with the Goliath and just Demona. You know,
Well, I mean,
I want to see how this quality turns out, you know, but
if it looks
just like the quality is just garbage, then it's like, hey, all right, I'm not buying anymore, but at least I got the two that I wanted, and I'll just like put them in very, you know, like put them like little flying stands and like just never touch them again. So,
yep.
Well, I've heard good things about the Universal monsters. So
I haven't opened I bought the Frankenstein, but I haven't opened them yet. I pre-ordered the Wolfman though. With the Demona, I just feel like that if it comes out looking as good as, like, look at the lips and how her facial expression, it gives you kind of how that character acts on the show, you know? Like it's subtle, but it's really well done. And then the texture on the little mini shirt thing that she wears, that looks incredible.
Rick,
Like, I hope it looks that good, and I hope they hold up. But did you see? There's a post that somebody made from NECA talking to someone else. I think it was on Instagram, and they said that they have at least eight of them that they're working on right now. So I don't know if everybody saw that, but that's a lot. Wow. That's a good group of gargoyles.
Yeah.
Letter Dread. The one thing, and you know, if me and Ben, we need to have this conversation with you, Rick, that NECA's problem has never been sculpt and
I know.
paint and looking good. That's not their issue. So
yeah, I hope it holds up.
Yeah. Ninja Turtles for the movie. Yeah, you get your Shredder Splinter. I knew I was looking at the movie cast. And I'm like, what else are they gonna give me? Like, I've got everything. Like the April O'Neil, I didn't pre-order it because like their shipping is like $15 or something. Like you would end up paying $50 for that April O'Neil figure if you pre-ordered through them. So I'm like, I'll just take my chances in store. Otherwise, I don't need it. But to me, I don't need these.
Yeah, that's a deep cut.
And when I look at like the movie stuff, I'm like, you got Tonka and Razor, you got the Turtles, you've got your regular Shredder, you've got your Super Shredder. I'm trying to think. You got your Foot Soldiers, you got a Casey. There's April coming. I'm like, other than that, what do you want? Like, you don't want no Turtles 3 stuff.
No one does. Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
They're reaching. Yeah.
It's interesting, but like nobody ever said like, yeah, I want Shredder, but not when he's like all done up like Shredder. I would just want him like in his karate gi, yeah, or whatever. All right, and McFarlane, got a couple things with McFarlane. Sport, are you getting into the 66 line or?
I don't know. I had the Mattel ones that have more articulation than these seem to have.
Yes, these seem like they are quite a bit limited.
But the Batmobile and the Batcave, those are tempting.
The Batmobile, for me at least, is tempting. Batcave, man, I don't have any room for that sucker. Now, is it just me, or does Batman doesn't look as good? It seems like the Joker looks better than
it does.
The rest of them. Like, whenever I look at that Joker, I'm like, dude, that's Romero right there.
Yeah, he does look pretty good, especially when you find the like close-ups of his face.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have the mustache?
I think so.
I don't see it. Well,
someone was showing like a close up of the mouth, and evidently the actor had like one tooth that was kind of scraggly, and that was in the sculpt. That was actually incorporated into the sculpt in the mouth. I saw a close up somewhere, but I thought that was like above and beyond.
Yeah.
We're gonna
It's
get
out there a
that
little
tooth
bit.
right.
I do not like the capes. I know that they're trying to be
Yeah.
all like 66 capes, but I'm like, man, those look so cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah, for once, Mattel actually did it better.
Yeah, I feel like he might have been trying to please too many people when he added the soft goods to these.
Yeah.
You know, because if
I
you think
don't-
about it, they're
They could
sort of
have
like
came out with better soft good capes though. Like we have tons
True.
of those.
I think his game has always been plastic capes, and he does a good job with the plastic capes. I think he was trying to make it too Mego-like, you know, like those old Mego figures.
Yeah.
Well, he also wanted soft so he could get them in the Batmobile though.
Yeah, to be able to sit. Yeah.
But they don't sit right anyway, so.
They don't.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always difficult. Even like the Hot Toys stuff.
Oh,
is
they're
harder to-
sticking out.
Yeah. They're taller
Yeah.
than the windshield.
No.
Yeah, the card needed to be bigger and at a higher price point, and I think
Yeah.
he sacrificed size to get that
Yeah.
price point down. For sure.
He sacrificed packaging. So that's some cheap packaging right there.
You want to get that giant Batmobile sitting in the store in a baggie and just a little like a little Ziploc.
Yeah.
If it saved $10, I'm there with you.
The word Batmobile written with a Sharpie. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, this must be just dedicated to kids then. But I mean, like, what kids are like know about 66 Batman?
I mean, yeah, my kid knows about a lot, but he's seen it, but he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he would ask for this. I haven't shown him this, but even he knows a lot of lore of all toys. I don't know if he would, if we walked in the store, he'd be like, "Oh man, I want that." We'll see. I might not tell him about it and just show it to him and see what he says.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know
'cause
if I was a
Toyz
kid and this came out, like when I was watching this shit, when I was like little kid,
Oh yeah,
and I think
Yeah.
even then it was reruns.
yeah,
But
yeah. It's reruns still.
yeah, I if I had found this in the store, I had the Mego figures for Batman, Robin, Riddler, Penguin, Joker. You know, whoever what they made, I would have them. but-
Vincent Price was Egghead, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Dude.
I think I'm going to skip them. Maybe I'll change my mind, but I know we talked about Batgirl. If they make
Yeah.
Batgirl, I'm going to get Batgirl.
That's all I was gonna say, man. If they make my Julie Newmar Catwoman and Yvonne Craig Batgirl, then like, hey, we won't take another look at these. So,
Yeah.
but look,
Yeah, and
I look at these, and the Joker looks better. It
Yeah.
must be these capes are throwing it off to where the capes look so terrible,
Yeah.
Probably.
and that they have their
Also,
underwear.
Hot Toys made these guys too. I have those two that they made. They promised a Batmobile but never delivered. But they made them, and they did I have them on the shelf back here behind me, and they look really good. So, and it's hard not to compare. I feel like we've learned a lot. I know what he's going for. I totally get it. I don't know if it's going to work. I think, like we said, I think the capes needed to be different. I think there's some things that he sacrificed too much to get that whole package under $100 to be able to buy every item for under $100. I think he sacrificed too much. Because, like you said, is it kids that are going to be buying? Probably not.
And I'll let you continue on with the
Spawn stuff. So
yeah.
he's got, this is a big summer for him. He's kind of relaunching with some new Spawn titles. He's expanding the Spawn universe and making a big deal about it for the first time in years. I put these books on pre-order. There's going to be like a King Spawn, There's like 3 or 4 different books. But the other thing he's doing, obviously, is he's got some cool figures that he's going back and kind of redoing, doing some updates to. Like Gunslinger Spawn here, and you saw Clown before. I thought Clown was interesting because if you look at him, I kind of get a little bit of the classic comic Clown, but I still see a little bit of that John Leguizamo Clown in him too. Yeah, so I think he's doing like kind of an amalgam of the clowns with that one. And then I guess this one's Raven Spawn, I think is this one. He's doing the Redeemer with the angel wings. All stuff we've seen before, at least once, sometimes multiple times, but just, new versions of them. I think it's pretty cool. I know, I was on a Spawn kick last year. I went back and got a few of the figures I had skipped, some of the better ones, some of the cooler ones. I feel good now. I've got a lot of Spawn stuff. I have a few up, but most of them I have kind of in a little Tupperware thing upstairs, kind of like the greatest hits. So I pre-ordered these. I don't know if I'm going to get the Raven Spawn, but I'm going to get the other ones.
I like that Gunslinger Spawn.
Yeah, the Gunslinger does look cool.
And then
the Violator.
This guy gives me the same vibes as Goliath. It's like standing on those feet.
Oh yeah,
better be strong joints.
Yeah. He's much chunkier now, much bigger. He's not as scrawny. I remember the first version he did had like bendable, skinny little legs. So this one has come a long way. He looks cool.
Again, not for your kids. So
yeah.
All right, going to blaze through some hot toys. So Rick, I'll let you take it away here.
Yeah, we got Black Widow. Finally, a movie that's coming out in about 2 weeks. It's been on hold for what seems like an eternity.
Yeah.
But she's looking great. I mean, the face sculpt is really good, and I think they've learned lessons through the year. The in-game Black Widow had the the plastic sculpt hair and not the rooted hair. This one is the same route. She's got like the plastic sculpted hair. I think it looks pretty good. A new suit that we haven't seen on her. I can't wait to see the movie. And I think it's cool that we've got Taskmaster coming out. Taskmaster is a character from way back when I was in, I don't know if it was middle school or maybe the first of high school. I saw in an Avengers book for the first time. And I thought that, a guy who could kind of mimic how you're fighting style with that muscle memory and all these things, these incredible powers where he could face off against Captain America, Hawkeye, and use all their stuff and be just as good. So I think he's a cool villain. He's always been a cool looking villain.
Yep.
And now Hot Toys is going to give you like a premium treatment. So I can't wait to see what he's like in the film. I pre-ordered Black Widow already. I want to see the film and see how much I like this version of Taskmaster before I pre-order, but it looks good. I think the biggest change is the metal mask instead of kind of like the skull looking mask,
I don't think it's too bad though.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. And then obviously Bad Batch, Hunter is the leader of the team. These look phenomenal, like what they're doing, taking it from the animated series to like the reality. It looks really cool.
Are you picking up all these or?
I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'm shooting for it. We'll see.
I wonder if Mike is.
I know Mike's into the Bad Batch. I know he's getting all the Black Series stuff. I think it'd be cool if they end up in live action in The Mandalorian or one of the other series that they're working on. I think it'd be really cool to see them end up in those shows. And then here's that third version of Mando that they're doing with like all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, that's a lot of stuff on him.
Wow.
Yeah. get the dark saber. You get Boba Fett's helmet, the armor before it gets repainted when he has it on the back of the swoop bike. You get Grogu again. You get the Beskar staff. Also, they chromed out the helmet and anything that's the Beskar on there. They've chromed it out as well.
So it wasn't chromed out previous?
No, and usually they don't do that. I haven't seen them do that, not often. And then the swoop bike, I like that they made that separate. Sometimes they don't, but it's a separate piece that you can get by itself if you want it. They also did the Mando with all that stuff, and then you can get him without like the Boba Fett pieces and some of the extra stuff. So there's 2 ways you can get him.
Nice.
Art, that makes a lot of sense, to be honest.
Yeah, the stuff at the top, I think, on the deluxe are the things that were the exclusives. Kind of like your ultimate version, right? The ultimate version of Mandalorian.
Pretty much, yeah.
Look how terrified that little kid is.
There's a good comparison.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, dude. That's a big difference there.
Yeah. See the chrome.
Shiny.
But yeah.
And obviously you get, the actor likeness. Which isn't too bad compared to some of the ones we've seen.
Leave the helmet on.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up there. But anyways, guys, for you guys that watched earlier, or you guys that were going to be watching in video form, let us know how you like this kind of new presentation, the way that we're kind of doing it. Throwing some topics kind of in the middle, take it away from screen sharing, discuss those topics, go back in, and just hitting the highlights really of what we think that is kind of the stuff that's the most interesting to talk about. So just let us know what you think in the comments. So anyways, let's sign out. Rick, where can people find you? And also let them know if they want to be spotlighted for the Instagram page, then we need to they need to get in contact with you too. So
yeah, you can find me on Instagram mostly. I'm also on Twitter, Shatrdglassjazz, right there, just like it's spelled on the screen. If you're doing toy photography and you want us to kind of share, send me some information. Send me where's your page, maybe some shots that you really like of your toy photography, and we might feature you on the show. Something new we're going to be doing. So just let me know.
All right, Sport, where can people find you, man?
You find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook as Sportimus Prime, and here on YouTube, as Sportimus.
All right, and you can find me, Jewel Extron, on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook page is the Jewel Extron. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Peace.